Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah and today I've got something a little different. So I thought I would take you along with me through a test knit from start to finish. The test knit I am participating in is the Lauder Sweater designed by Rebecca Clow of the Creative Bea. It is an all over cabled sweater. It's really pretty. It's got this like cool cable detail down the shoulder, all the fun things. I applied to this test knit a few days ago. I got selected. So I today just got the files with the whatchamacallit pattern. And I am using yarn from my stash. So first, let's talk a little bit about the pattern and the options it has. It is a size inclusive pattern. I do not know the exact centimeters and inches it goes up to, but I know it has, you know, your standard size inclusive size range. It also has many variations to choose from. There is the round neck pullover, the V-neck pullover, two cardigan options, round and V, and same with the vest. There is a round and V-neck vest option, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure there's the two options for the vest. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I will correct myself if I am wrong. I signed up to test knit the round neck pullover version in the size 3. Normally I'm around a size 2, however, I wanted more positive ease. This pattern calls for about 5 inches of positive ease, but I actually wanted something a little bit bigger. I'm wanting something like super big, cabled, and I don't know, something super cozy. And I do find the two patterns I have test knit for Rebecca Clow, I have found the sizes I feel like are a little bit smaller. Maybe that's just me and how I knit versus how she knits, because that can happen a lot, you know, depending on somebody's style of knitting, gauge, etc. But I've gotten gauge and I feel like it still seems a little bit small. But we'll see. This is my third test knit for her. I really like doing these test knits. It's a lot of fun. This is a pattern that involves a little bit more than other patterns that I've test knit and knit up. I have never done an all over cable sweater, so I'm very excited about it. I've always wanted to, but just haven't gotten around to it, but here we are. So I received the file for the pattern this morning. Here it is. I did have a brief moment of because there's 29 pages because there's 4 sweater versions in one pattern. There's the round neck pullover and cardigan, and then the V-neck pullover and cardigan all in one, and then there's several different like sizes require different instructions. So there's a lot of stuff, which is great and amazing for, you know, one pattern to have all of this in it. But as somebody who maybe, like, I've never been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. I look at that much text and I kind of have a little brief panic. So it took me a while to go through and figure out which pages I needed and didn't need. I have asked if she would maybe consider doing an index. I don't know, we'll see. It may just be my brain and everybody else is probably like, yeah, Sarah, you're a little bit crazy. Nobody needs that. But for me, I look at it and I would like to know, okay, for the version I am knitting, I need this page through this page and this page through this page and then maybe this page or this page. So I know where I need to go without having to read through a bunch of things that do not apply to me. Now, of course, I can go through and see the heading on each, but it's still very overwhelming. That's, again, maybe just me. Could be very just me. But anyways, I printed out the pattern. I figured out which pages I needed. There's nothing important on this page. It's just all the info. I like to print that out as well. Depending on the pattern, I'll print it out or not print it out. For a test knit, I always print them out because I like to take highlighters and mark things that are applicable to me, or maybe things that need to be adjusted or changed or whatever. I like to have these and be able to actually make notes on the pattern as I go through it. I also do that with some paid for patterns, like as I'm going through, it's just easier to actually have something to physically mark. I'm a little old school, I also like notebooks and notepads and things. So there's the pattern. Yeah, there's that. And then the yarn I'm using is Premier Wool Select. This is a 75% acrylic, 25% wool blend. It is a DK weight. It is a beautiful silvery gray color. I'm pretty sure it's actually called silver. Yes, it is called silver. And this has 273 yards in it. So a good amount of yardage, which is great. The size I am knitting is calling for 1,300 yards, just a hair over that. So the amount I have is, give me a second. Okay, 273 yards times the 5 balls I have. We're hitting at 1,365. So kind of cutting it a little close. So I went on Premier's website yesterday to order a 6th ball just in case I want to make it even more long or something like that, because I really like my sleeves very long and I kind of want this again to be a super oversized sweater, so I may want to take it a little bit longer just because again I want it cozy, big, squishy. They don't have this color anymore. In fact, they have a lot less of all the colors they used to have on there. So I sent them an email asking if they plan on having them back, all the colors they don't currently have in stock, back in stock, or if they're discontinuing this line of yarn. So these balls were $2 each. So what? So it's a $15 sweater. That's amazing. But they don't have the balls of the color that I need. So I took to the internet to see what anybody else has. Nobody else has this color in stock, and if they do have them in stock, they're like $10 a ball, which is very irritating. So I'm hoping Premier emails me back and is like, oh yeah, we have some of that in stock, or it's going to be coming, or hey, we have some sitting here that like got missed. Maybe, probably not. I'm probably gonna have to spend $10 on another ball, or I could just wait till I get to the end. But the problem about waiting to the end is if I do end up needing more, what is available out there for $10 may end up increasing in price because there isn't enough stock, or just becomes completely unavailable. That's where I'm at with the yarn. Yeah, I had also considered, because they do have a brown in this yarn that's very nice and is $2 a ball, and I was like, ooh, I should order that. But when I ordered this yarn, it took about a month for me to receive. So that would be eating up 4 weeks of my test knitting time, and I'm not willing to do that for an all over cable work sweater. It's not gonna happen. I will just keep it in this color, even though after I looked at the brown, I was like, ooh, actually this would be really good in the brown. And I was like, no, stick with the gray. You have the gray yarn, you don't need to buy any more yarn. If you finish it and you want another one in brown, you can do it then. But again, is it gonna be available? I don't know. Anyways, I am not rambling. So the plan is to take you along with me as I knit, let you know my thoughts and my feelings throughout the whole process. Yeah, and if I think of anything as I'm going through the process, I'll pop in and share that with you. We will see you later. Day 4 of test knitting the Lauder Sweater. I am doing the pullover, which I already mentioned, and it's going to be all in one video, so I don't know why I'm saying that again. Anyhow, I have not been working on it a ton, purely because I have my sister's sweater I've been trying to finish, and it is done. It is currently blocking. Ta-da! Sorry if I like had somebody tell me about a sweater blocking. I'd want to see, so I thought I'd show. But yeah, I put this on pause just so I can finish that up. I was tired of having that on my freaking needles, and I would like to be able to actually gift it to my sister. You know, give her Christmas gift finally. So I cast this on, I think, day 2. I cast this on the day she sent the pattern, and then worked on a good chunk of it, and then worked on it some the next day, and then put it on pause for a couple of days so I could finish the sleeve and ripping out the hem and redoing the hem of my sister's sweater. But yeah, I have made this much progress since then. I am about 1 increase, focus on this, row away from just knitting straight for a while. I have made a little whoopsie. You can see my edge over here, along there, and along here they look different. That's because I wasn't paying attention to the type of increases, and I just kind of started doing increases, and it was about halfway through this panel that I realized, and I was like, I am not ripping back. I don't care that much. I'm just gonna keep it consistent and not fix it, because that would look silly if it was part way it changed. So I'm just gonna change it in the front panels, because I will see the front panels. I won't see the back, so it won't bother me because it's in the back. And I don't think anybody else will notice and be like, your increases on these 2 sides are different, unless you're like a really picky knitter. And again, why are you looking at my sweater that closely? Back off, please. So yeah, I don't think anybody will notice except for me and now you, because you will see it now. But yeah, if I hadn't pointed out to you, that probably would be the last thing you're looking at. You would probably just think, oh, that's a really pretty cable sweater. And it is going to be a very pretty cable sweater. Also, I always find the back side of cables very intriguing. I don't know why. I just think it looks very interesting. I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of snakeskin. Like, I look at this, it kind of looks like snakeskin. I do have on here a Hello Lavender leaf. I am putting a leaf on the rows of, like, once I do a cable row, I'm putting a leaf on it so I don't lose track of how many rows I've done. So if I set it down, I'm not like, wait, how far out from a cable am I? Because I have a really hard time counting rows for that. And then I have this Sable and Stone marker on here for just keeping track of how much I've knit in one sitting or day. So yeah, that's not how much I've knit today. I have not moved my marker. I've only knit dish much. Only 2 rows today, but I have some work to do today. I have a painting to finish. I already poured resin, and yeah, I just have little oddball tasks, but this is the only knitting I have to do. Like, really, my gloves aren't in any huge hurry, and I have socks that aren't in any hurry. They're my take with me projects. So yeah, this is the main focus, which I'm very excited about, and I cannot wait to have this sweater. I will let you know as I'm in it further how it's going. fun weekend with a cold. But that's okay, because that meant I got some time to work on my Lauder sweater. I had just finished the back panel and was getting ready to pick up and cast on the front two panels. Well, I did that. Put my stitches on the back on hold, picked up the front stitches, knit down, joined the front, then realized I didn't read the instructions properly, and I knit from like here down, like to the depth it needed to be, but you were supposed to place a marker at a certain point and then knit the length from that marker down. So I only had about half of what I actually needed. So yeah, I finished the front-ish. I need to go back and add a little bit more length, I think, which I'll talk about in just a second. But I went back and I have now added the proper amount of length to the back. And then I'm going to go back to the front and add a little bit more length because I'm just on the cusp of being right at the right spot. However, I am slightly concerned at the armhole depth because it's measuring on point right now with the armhole depth that's like in the pattern, like in the schematics for the size. But when this is blocked and it grows out this direction, I will lose length, aka armhole depth. And I'm slightly worried about that because already like this, I mean, I need to add about an inch to the front still because, well, let me show you. See, it's rolling up, so it's looks like a little more than an inch, but there's like an inch more I need to add to the front. But anyhow, like let's say I already have that inch up front. This seems a little small to me for an armhole. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I put it on, well, here. I'm wearing a sweatshirt, so kind of wouldn't fit ideally right now anyways, but like with 1 inch, I feel like that's a little, I need to measure my difference between like the scrunched versus the blocked, what it will be when it's blocked, dimensions. So yeah, need to do that. I do get a little hair overwhelmed by group chats for test knits. There's a lot of like chatter and people showing like swatches and colors and updates, which is really cool. And then there's people asking questions, clarifying questions in the pattern or pointing things out that they notice. And so there's just like a lot of stuff in there, and I tend to like open it up and it's like, it's too much. It's too much to look at and to read. Yeah, it's just a lot of information in one spot all at one time. But yeah, it's working out really beautifully. I am very pleased with it. I am hoping it moves a touch faster once it's in the round. There's a lot of purling right now on the opposite side, on the wrong side. So I'm hoping once I get in the round, it'll move a little bit quicker. I also need to see if I have, what size am I using currently? I'm using US 7, which I think is 4.5 millimeter. I need to see if I have, I'm pretty sure I have 5 millimeters small circulars, because I think I'm going to need to go up a needle size for my arms, because I know that I knit tighter in a small circumference. So I think I'm going to go up a needle size once I get to my sleeves. But I'm not worried about that yet. I am going to join, once I get to the join in the round, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to do the collar. And then I think I'm going to start knitting on a sleeve, just to get a sleeve done so I can test that out, so I can at least have a good idea going. Well, yeah, because then if I should do both sleeves, because then I can just knit length until I basically run out of yarn. I did order, I don't know if I mentioned, but I did order another ball of yarn. They are no longer making this yarn though, which is making me sad, but I found it on Amazon. It was way more expensive, but that's okay. I'd rather just have it just in case. So it's still yet to arrive. Should have been here by now. Maybe it's supposed to come today. I'll have to look at my tracking, but yeah, it's on its way. But I think, yeah, I'm gonna knit this last inch on the body, which I'll be able to do today, no problem. I've been doing a lot of work though, so I haven't gotten a whole lot of knitting time in. But yeah, if I finish that inch and then just double check on the depth, because this is me adding about 1/4 of an inch on the back, and I think I want to add just a couple more rows. I also like a lot of space here. I don't like feeling tightness here because it makes me feel claustrophobic. I have a shirt that does that and it stresses me out. Like I feel like I need to be pulling at it like constantly. So I don't want this sweater and the amount of time I've put into it to be suffocating my armpits. Like I don't like that. So I just need to make sure that the depth is going to match the schematics. So anyhow, that's that. Guess go back to working on it. But I feel like squealing because I'm very in love. Oh my goodness. She's glorious. I am currently at 3 weeks into this test knit of the Lauder Sweater for Rebecca. And yeah, I'm very pleased with the amount of progress I've made thus far. I know there are some people who are just now getting started or are just into certain stages. I'm very happy that I feel like I am well on my way to like a sweater. I finished up one ball of yarn on the body, so decided to take a break from continuing on the body. I picked up the neckline, did the neckline because I also just like having that clean bit up here, and then it looks a little bit more like a sweater. And yeah, I mean, plus then when I hold this up, it actually looks like something. Yeah, so a couple of things. Once I did the neckline, I decided to pick up the sleeves and do the sleeves first because the sleeves need, like, I needed to pay attention because there's some short row shaping in them at the top, and then I figured I can knit the sleeves to whatever length I want, and then whatever yarn I have left, I will just knit the body till my heart is content. So this sleeve almost broke me. I'm the type of person who wings every sleeve, ever. Like, I don't follow the pattern for sleeves because what is the point? Like, it's a sleeve. I'm gonna customize them anyways. Like, I end up making them like my own decrease rates, whatever. I never follow a pattern for sleeves. But this one, because there is a cable pattern, you kind of got to follow the pattern because, of course, you want it to look nice. That means I have to follow the sleeve pattern, but I've never done. So here we are. And yeah, like I said, it almost broke me. One thing that I had to do was I'm knitting size 3, but I did a deeper depth of my yoke, And I also realized one of the reasons I ended up needing to increase my yoke depth, which I don't know if I had talked about or not, but on the back side, I know I had mentioned that along here I had messed up the depth and then started on the front and then realized I hadn't knit it deep enough. Well, I ended up picking up like, I picked up the right amount of stitches along here, but because there were so many, I like skipped stitches. So yeah, it does kind of bunch a little bit. You can't tell. I put it on last night. I tried it on and you can't tell when it's on. I feel like once it blocks it even more so, you won't be able to tell. Like, you can kind of tell there's like a little bit of a bubble thing happening there. Anyways, it bunches a tiny bit. Once it's blocked, like when I stretch this, you can't tell. So once the whole thing is stretched, it'll be fine. But anyways, my yoke depth was deeper, so I need to pick up more stitches for my sleeves. So I'm knitting size 3 for the sweater, but I picked up size 5 for the sleeves. And I'm kind of happy I did because I don't have enormous biceps, but like I get claustrophobic when things ride up in my armpit. So I'm happy I did that. The short rows though, I was sitting there thinking like, do I really need short rows? I'm just gonna skip the short rows. And I was like, no, be a good pattern tester, do your short rows. Plus there's a reason she did short rows. It's probably because it's gonna make it look nice and fit better. And I am happy I did the short rows because the shaping of it is just really, really nice. So yeah, I'm happy I did the short rows. They were a bit of a bear and I had to really pay attention, but I'm happy I did them. And now it's just round and round and round until I get a sleeve done. And then I'll do the second sleeve and then I'll finish the body. I did go up a needle size. I've been knitting the body on 4.5 millimeter. I probably didn't need to. It's definitely, my sleeve is a looser gauge. You can definitely tell. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I can tell. And I haven't actually measured my gauge, but I'm okay with that because whenever I block something, I block the body pretty aggressively, but then the sleeves just kind of like lay out. So I feel like that way I won't need to block the arms quite as aggressively as I will the body. Overall though, I'm very happy with this, how it's working out. I would like to, this week, what is today? Today is Tuesday, February 13th. I started this January 21st. So just over 3 weeks. I would like to, by the weekend, have sleeve 1 done, which I think I should be able to accomplish like in the evenings. I mean, last night, I knit a little bit more than this, I feel like. Anyways, I want to get this done so I can work on another sweater. Check in again later. It is beautiful and I'm in love with it. So, all the things. I have so many things. So, first I'm not wearing it because it's really warm in my house and I don't feel like wearing a thick cable knit sweater. Plus, then I can hold it up and like really show off all the little details and tidbits. So, just a recap, I knit the size 3 because I wanted about 10 inches of positive ease. Modifications that I made. First one was I lengthened the depth of the yoke a little bit, just a little bit. Therefore, I did have to do a different pickup for the sleeves. So I knit the body size 3, little extra depth, and then I knit the size 5 sleeve. I didn't do as many decreases in the sleeve either. I wanted it to be a nice loose sleeve. So, I mean, without putting it on, I wanted, you know, some ease in my sleeve. And then the cuff is like nice and wide without being like super baggy or loose. It's like comfy on the hand. So yeah, those are the main modifications I made along with the length of it. I knit mine quite a bit longer than Rebecca has in the pattern. I'm pretty sure I should have stopped right about here, but I knit all this extra length here, and I also did a couple of short rows in the ribbing because I wanted the back a hair longer than the front, and I was not going to attempt to do short rows with the cabling pattern because that would have not have been fun. So I did it inside of the ribbing instead. Didn't feel like mathing to figure that out. So those are all the main modifications I made. Now, gauge. So I'm a tight knitter, and I know that she is a very loose knitter. So I did have to go up to a 4.5 millimeter needle, and then I knit these sleeves at a 5 millimeter needle because I was small circumference. I usually knit even tighter, so I went up a needle size for the sleeves. Very happy I did. I was still about a half stitch off. I didn't want to go up for a 5 in the body because I liked the fabric I was getting. I know Rebecca's patterns like tend to have a slightly looser gauge, and I think that's just because she's a looser knitter and I'm again a very tight knitter. So we're at very opposite ends of the spectrum here. So I didn't want to go up any higher in needle size, so I stuck with the 4.5, and then we almost got gauge. Not quite, but almost. So before blocking for my 4 inches, I got 30 stitches wide. Yeah, 30 stitches. After blocking, I got 22.5. The pattern calls for a 22 stitch gauge. So I was a bit off, but that's okay. It worked out. So after blocking, it ended up hitting 41.5 inches. Before blocking, it was 32 inches. So the other thing with the blocking was I blocked it like I would normally block my stuff. I soaked it in some water with some soap, and then I laid it out on the mats, got it all pinned. I removed it from the blocks and it went shoop, right back to the same size it was. Any guesses why? Let me tell you why. It is a mostly acrylic blend of yarn. It is 75% acrylic, 25% wool. So the acrylic needs heat for blocking, whether that be like really, really hot water or a steam. So I didn't use really hot water because I would never do that with wool, but it's acrylic, mostly acrylic. But that didn't cross my mind at the time, so I used a nice room temperature water to wash it and was very gentle with it, and then realized I needed to use heat. So today I reblocked it, pinned it out on my boards, I got my iron out and I steamed it, blocked beautifully. It's now nice and relaxed and opened. Before it was like cinching in like this, but now the cables are nice and open and it looks very nice, and I'm very happy with it. It's very comfy and it's very cozy, too cozy for my house right now. It's 75 degrees inside of my house. I am very happy with that now that it's blocked. I do think I wouldn't mind having one that's a little more like the pattern in the fact that it's shorter, like a more cropped version, maybe even more cropped than what she knit hers. I still like the more boxy fit, I think. I like it a little looser, a little more cozy. Things I would change. I don't think I'd change anything from what I did this time. It turned out pretty good. Oh, I do know what I'd change. So I did a tubular bind off on the sleeves. Blocking did make a difference. It's not flaring quite as much. So this was a very nice tubular bind off. I think it looks really nice. Was it worth the time? Maybe. I don't think it looks that much better. I mean, it looks nice, but it's fine. It's not like, oh my gosh, I want to do tubulars on everything. It's the most amazing bind off in the whole world. I'm just feeling meh about it. Okay, but I messed up on the hem. I messed up on my hem. I think I did my setup rounds wrong, maybe, I don't know. Or I just did the bind off wrong. I did the same thing I did for the sleeves, and I even double checked and watched a video when I was realizing it was turning out wrong, so I think it may have been my setup. But if you look on the front, it looks pretty nice, but then on the inside, we've got that going on. So I don't really know. It looks fine from the outside though, and it just looks like a detail. So I'm not overly concerned about it. It is what it is. It's on the hem. People aren't like looking at the bottom of my sweater by my butt. And if they are, I might question them and ask them why they are. So it doesn't really bother me that much. It's fine. But yeah, I would change the hem, but I was not about to. I didn't want to undo it. It's fine. Overall, I really enjoyed this pattern. It was fun to knit. I was getting a little tired of the cables at about this point, the point in which the pattern says to stop. So, I mean, that's kind of on me that I decided to add this much more. I would recommend this pattern. It was really fun. It turned out beautifully. I love that it's all over cables. There's no break in the cabling. I have been looking for a pattern like this for a while, so I'm very happy to now have one in my wardrobe and in a nice color that I will wear all through fall, winter, and spring. On cool days in spring right now, like I said, it'd probably be a bit too warm. I did wear it out the other day. Where did I go? I just went out to run a couple of errands and it was a little cool out, so I just wore this like I would have worn a jacket. Yeah, I foresee this being a go-to in my wardrobe for quite a while. It's really beautiful. It's amazing. I'm very pleased with it. I think my favorite part is this shoulder detail where the cable runs from like the shoulder and then down the back. I love that detail. I think it's really pretty. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So that's the sweater. The yarn I'm feeling middle ground with. It's not like anything spectacular. It's mostly acrylic with wool. I do think I like the Lion brand woolies better than this. I feel like this feels, even though it has a higher wool content, I feel like it feels a little bit more plasticky to me, but I still really like it, and I will definitely wear it a lot. I still have store-bought sweaters that I wear all the time that are acrylic based, so it's not like one of those things like, ugh, it's acrylic, I won't wear it. This will get worn to death, and yeah, I'm very pleased with it. The yarn is, like I said, kind of, it's middle of the road for me. It's not something I would be like, oh, it's a dream, but it's not like, ew, gross. It's very pleasant. I like it. Don't love it, but I really like it. I would say 7 out of 10. I give it a 7 out of 10. That's where I put it. The testing experience is pretty average, standard. If you haven't done test knitting before, Typically, all the test knits I've been a part of, you're part of the group chat. Group chats are overwhelming to me. They're very, depending on each test I've been a part of has varied greatly on the amount of chat and messaging that happens in it. Some people will use the chat to ask questions for clarifications or put like issues they've had with the pattern there. And so it can be a little overwhelming. I personally don't participate too much in the chats. Just because I do get overwhelmed by it. But I like having that there to ask questions if needed. I think it went pretty smoothly. I personally didn't run into any big issues. I think there was one thing that I was kind of like, on, but I think somebody else had already pointed that out and it was being dealt with. So yeah, overall the testing process was very smooth. I just need to fill out the little form today. By the time I post this video, the pattern will already be out because I'm not posting this right away because I have to edit all the things and I have life stuff happening that I can't make it happen right now. If you have any questions about this specific pattern or testing or the yarn or cables or anything at all, drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the sweater. Do you think it is absolutely as gorgeous as I do? Yeah. Would you knit an all over cable sweater? It's worth it, let me tell you. It's pretty amazing. I'm in love. I think you should do it. If you've been on the fence, do it. Take the leap. It's gonna be amazing. You'll love, love, love that you did it when you are done. While you're knitting it, I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I loved it mostly until I got to the bottom part, which I added, so you know it's my own doing. Yeah, let me know what you think, and make sure you hit the like and the subscribe to catch future videos, and we will see you next time. Bye.